Hi guys, today's video is going to be a reading wrap up over, well, at least like 2 months because we're in the middle of June, so it's not going to be full of Junes, so I'm guessing this is just going to be like 2.5 months instead of like the 3-month hit of a reading wrap up. So yeah, because of the way this is like positioned in the year, I've got 5 physical books that I have read, and then I read 4 of my classic books that I have, which I done a reading vlog on last month, which I read on my phone. But yeah, so I read 9 books in total. But yeah, most of these books I finished in like April, May time, apart from the last one, which I finished literally just before filming this. So there's one book in June so far, which I thought, why not add that since I finished it and I'm filming this video. Whereas the rest of June's books will be added to the next reading wrap up. And also, don't mind the way I'm sat on my chair if I spin. I normally do this when I'm always on my chair, so don't mind that. But yeah, let's get into it. So from the last reading wrap up, I don't know if I mentioned it, but obviously I read the first half of the Gold Rush Ranch in March and finished it all in March, and then I started this early March, this last book of the Gold Rush Ranch series, which is a false start, and then obviously I put it down and put it to a side to finish. I'll read a new release, but yeah, I ended up finishing it again in April. So yeah, I did start this in March, but then put it down to read another book, and then went back to this one and finished this on like mid-April, end of April-ish. But yeah, I gave this a 5-star and spice rate. I'm just also looking at my little notebook of my star ratings and spice ratings on here, and then I've also got my phone with my fable app, which tells me kind of like when I read the book, but it also just gives me the star rating. It doesn't give me the spice rating and stuff. But yeah, so I've got a false start that I read, and yeah, it was a 3 stars with 5 spice, because Elsie Silver's books are always really spicy. And that by spicy I mean like smutty. But yeah, so I read that one, and then I went on to reading Murder at the Monastery, which is the 3rd book in the Canon Clement mystery series. I read this one, gave it a 3 stars in total. Obviously it's like a murder mystery kind of thing, so there's no spice in it or any smut. So yeah, so there is that one, which I read mid to late April. Then there was the little novella, which I had like a few days between finishing this book and then the start of May, because the whole of May I just wanted to be my like classic book reading, because I was filming my classic book like reading vlog, so I kind of wanted to start from like the 1st of May, to do that, or early on in May, to read classic books and read as many as I could in the month, which kind of happened. But yeah, so I was like, I have a few days until May hits. I don't want to, and I felt like doing some reading, and I didn't want to pick up a classic book just yet, because I kind of wanted to start a classic book at the start of that video, and I was like, I didn't want to pick up another like romance book or something and then get partway through it to then have to stop for like a whole month. So the next on the Canon and Claremont mystery series was this little like novella, which slots between the third book and the last book, which is technically book, was it 3.5? But I classed it as the fourth book because the novellas are normally like a 0.5 at the end. But yeah, it's just like a small thin book. Like I read it within a couple of days, and that because I could get through it. But this one I actually gave 4 stars, like towards like the start, well, the first book in the series, loved, and then towards the middle it got a bit boring. But it wasn't boring, it just wasn't my favourite, and then towards the end it picked up a bit more. It was great. But yeah, so I read Murder Under the Mistletoe. Even though it is a Christmassy book, I read it in April. I nearly said March then. In April, but yeah. And then it was the classic books. The thing keeps on escaping my mind. So I read Tale of Two Cities. I will try and put a picture up on the screen instead of just having to see it from my phone. The classic books I didn't give a rating, because they're not like, it's not my go-to genre. So I didn't want to rate them or anything. But yeah. And then also I read The Picture of Dorian Gray. Read that one. Which I think the first 3-ish, 2.5. No, 2.5 or so. I read. So, the first 2, Tale of Two Cities, Picture of Dorian Gray, and then this one, which is Wuthering Heights, I read next. I all read within my classic book reading video. So I read them, and then literally the day that went up, I finished Wuthering Heights and started The Great Gatsby, which I think I said in a vlog, I'm not sure. So I also read The Great Gatsby as well. So I read all of that, and then it was kind of got to the point of I had some time, because it was like the middle of May now. Well, we're somewhat near the end of May. And I was in the dilemma of, do I start another classic book and then it potentially take me over into June and take me a bit longer, or do I just pick up a physical book? So at this point I kind of just felt like wanting to hold a physical book, and doing it that way and reading it that way, even though I do have a bunch of physical books to read. I decided to pick up, no, I've got a bunch of classic books, well, I've got both, a bunch of books to read on this TBR, to be honest, this year's TBR, but I decided to pick up the last book in the Canon and Claremont mystery series, which is A Death on Location, which I rated 4 stars. So yeah, I think this series is now complete. It went from a 5 to the second one being, I think, was a 3. The second one I rated a 3. The third one I rated a 3. The novella I rated a 4, and then this one I rated a 4. But yeah, the series is now complete. This was also just a series I added on like last minute. But yeah, I read this one, and I also managed to read it within May as well, which was great. But yeah, because this one was just the one that I picked up because I had like, I think it was like a week or so, or a week and a couple of days before June started, and I was like, yeah, let's see if I can get a book read. So I picked up this one and managed to read that. And then also, like, I started this the end of May. I literally started this the day I finished this one. I read like a chapter. I think I read the prologue or something, or at least a page of this that day in May. And then I literally finished this the day before this goes up, the day I'm filming this. I finished Cross the Line, which obviously is an F1 romance book, which I gave a 5 stars because I love it. It also is weird to read about a Monaco race in a book while watching the Monaco Grand Prix. Kind of weird and strange, to be honest, because that is what actually happened to me when the Monaco Grand Prix was literally last weekend, and it talks about like Monaco and some of the other races, but it starts with the Monaco Grand Prix at the start of the book, and I literally read like most of it since this weekend. But yeah, so that was fun. But it is also like a 4 on the spice rating. I wouldn't give it like a straight 5, but it is between a 4 and a 5-ish kind of thing. So I just went with a 4 on like the spicy, smutty side of it. But yeah, this is like the last book that I've like finished at the moment. I do have the second book of this series, which I can pick up and start reading today after I finish this. But yeah, so at the moment this is the only book of June that I have read. So any other books that I finish in June will be left until September. I think my next reading wrap up might be, because I think I do it every 3 months. I've planned it, so it should be September. So the rest of like from, I say like the middle-ish of June onwards, the rest of the books I read will be in that reading wrap up. But yeah, they were like the 9 books that I have literally read so far. And I literally only have 2. I go to say something and then it literally just escapes my brain. I've got 2 5-star reads so far this year. One, what was it, the start of the year? Was it January or was it February? I read the first book of the Canon Clement mystery series, which was Murder Before Evensong. And then also I've now got this one from June, which is Cross the Line. So I've got a 5-star on both reading wrap-ups. But yeah, I've only got 2 5 stars of the year at the moment. So let's see if I can get any more, or if this next book in the series is a 5-star. But yeah, so I will see you guys Sunday for a vlog, and then see you guys next Wednesday for it. I think it is, which it should be, is my like prep with me for my birthday, just to get ready for it and chill. But yeah, so I will see you guys then. Bye.